as a person, no, not that I know of.
So, but we do know that they've denied the charges at the time, or the allegations at the time at least.
Per his lawyer, yes, they've denied it, and that yes.
And this was 2021, 2022.
Yes, the period in which the purported incident took place.
Has he been playing though since then?
Yes, he has been playing. He
represent Ghana, or he was just playing at club level internationally at the time?
During this period, as you well know, Ghana qualified to compete in the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Thomas Partey was there, and also Ghana qualified to compete in the 2023 AFCON, and he played in some qualification games, and so he has been active for us now at the club level and active for the Black Stars at the national level.
Let me bring in Benjamin Ketia. He's head of sports here. Ben, PDD in the US was acquitted on a number of the charges that were brought against him. People were saying, well, he may have won in the court of law, but in the court of public opinion, his reputation has been damaged. How big a blow, a reputational blow, is this charge that has formally been brought against Partey to his professional career?
Well, first of all, let me say good evening to everybody. It's a big question. It's a big dark cloud over his career, and it's been like this for the last 3 years, at least since 2022. If you read the details of the story, it says that the incidents happened between 2021 and 2022, but the official first public incident I remember was an arrest at his residence at Barnet. I remember it was around 2 a.m. where the details appeared to be very sketchy at the time, because you know how legal issues can get. I mean, there can be lawsuits if you name people and you don't have charges that will stick. And so I think that's when all of this started. But it's definitely been a very, how would I call it? I would say he's personally handled it very well. I mean, if you looked at him on the pitch and didn't know better, you'd think that everything was fine. But behind the scenes, I will guess that he's been stressed by this. And I will take a page out of the situation of Benjamin Mendy. So Manchester City's left fullback who was embattled with the same type of situation. In his case, Manchester City took the decision to suspend him from the club while the investigation was ongoing and when the accusation was made. And since then, he's gone on to play for what, Lorient? As at the time when he was at Manchester City, I think he was coming off a World Cup win. He had just won a title. Like, he was on the high. He was easily one of the best left backs in the world at the time. And at the outset of that incident till today, I think everybody who knows Benjamin Mendy can tell you that his career is literally a pale shadow of what it used to be.
So and so going down.
And the difference basically is that, I mean, Mendy was quite young at the time. Partey is almost entering the twilight of his career. I mean, if I could juxtapose it, but I'm sure that if he had his own way with regards to how he wanted things to play out in his life, he would have chosen a different situation. This should not how it should play out. But
how did Arsenal react when the news came? He was with Arsenal at the time.
Yeah.
Did they suspend him? Did they issue a statement? Did they say anything? Or everybody was just quiet and watching to see what happens in court?
Okay, so Arsenal, I say, I believe when the incident first happened, from intelligence that I picked up, the club made its lawyers available to assist him, as well as his own personal lawyers he had hired to be able to deal with the situation. And so they've definitely been in the known. I mean, from a journalistic point of view, I remember when it first happened in 2022, they were on preseason in the USA, and I think it was unspoken, but it looked like he was barred from doing any form of club PR.
Okay.
And you would notice, even in recent times, he's been very impressive this past season. For most of his Arsenal career, he's been hampered by injuries. This season, he's been healthy. He's played some of the best football in his career this season. And some way, somehow, the Arsenal official social media handles were not giving him props. And I think that was rightly so. I mean, it was an internal decision not to speak on Thomas, because obviously there had been, like y'all said, a lot of public backlash, a lot of public judgment already with regards to the matter. And so the club, I would say, have erred on the side of caution, if I could put it that way, because, like I said, Benjamin Mendy sued Manchester City for suspending him because he eventually got cleared of all charges, and Manchester City decided to suspend him without pay. And so he's just recently won his lawsuit against the club. I think that Arsenal probably took cue from that situation
So
and
they
said,
were
you know what,
careful.
up until today, he had not been officially charged. It was it was a pending investigation that was happening. And so I think that the club probably have, I don't know, based on the details they know, I think they've erred on the
I think
side
that's
of
not just stuck to the business of football. They just
And
stuck,
left the-
and left
Exactly,
the legal
exactly.
issues
But yeah, the
to
question
the
is
right
that,
personalities.
So Arsenal is a big arsenal behind a person who is being tried. Now
Yeah.
that arsenal is missing behind
Yeah.
Partey.
Yes.
How big a deal is this? And what is okay? He himself is teamless now, isn't he?
Yes, he's a free agent. And what this means is that it further complicates his potential move to a different club. Because if a club wants to sign Thomas Partey, aside the on-field business that you have to deal with, his wages, how to manage his injury issues, now you have to factor in the legal bits. Are you willing to deal with Thomas Partey being absent for a while and not being active on the pitch playing for your team because he has to deal with legal issues because he's been summoned to court?
And you also said fans have been booing him.
Yes, fans have been booing. Yeah, that's also another PR quote unquote albatross that you have to deal with. And so it further complicates Thomas Partey's future because as at the time he became a free agent, that was June 30. Some clubs were interested in him. Atletico Madrid, his former club, they were reported to be interested in a reunion. Barcelona was reported to be interested in him. A couple of Saudi Arabia clubs were also reported to be interested in him. And so now that this issue has come up, would these big brands want to be associated with Thomas Partey at this point?
Let's just say that it's a
As
trial.
alleged at this point.
I mean, PDD was dragged. He came out, with just 2 counts that
Yes.
nailed him. The other ones didn't. So Partey may come out victorious
Yes.
or otherwise. But of course, like you said, it's a PR matter. Ben, nationally, he's a member of the Black Stars, or he plays with the Black Stars, or for the Black Stars of Ghana. How should Ghana deal with the Partey issue? What are his teammates saying in Ghana? What should the Ghanaian sporting fraternity say or do about this? How should the Black Star approach Partey moving forward? Should we treat him like the way Arsenal has been treating him, or he should be given bigger roles and say, listen, this is a big guy, he's playing for us, he's important for us, let's let him continue playing?
I think this is a very delicate matter because there are multiple factors at play. So first of all, you need to rope in the fact that when it comes to what we are talking about, it's talking about protecting our women. And that's why a lot of people are up in arms about how this entire issue has played out, especially with those pointing accusing fingers at Arsenal Football Club per se, saying that why did you continue to pay him a full salary? Why did you continue to play him when you knew this was on? What I will say is that as far as the national team is concerned, they first of all need to release a statement to acknowledge the situation. It's been a little murky with his captaincy. I don't know if you know.
He's our current
he used to be deputy captain to Jordan, but there was a little shake-up in the hierarchy, and we are not
still the deputy
captain.
Yeah,
so
deputy.
as deputy captain, they definitely need to release a statement on him. As a member of the Black Stars, they need to release a statement acknowledging the matter at least. Whatever they choose to do internally, I think that that belongs to the lips of the FA or the brains of the FA. As for us as a sports fraternity, I believe that it's dangerous. So people are dabbling in a lot of emotions right now. I think, like you rightly mentioned, it's important to use the precursor of innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of people are judging him just because it's a rape-related matter, and that's where this always gets murky for me. When your name gets associated with rape, a lot of people don't really think about if you are innocent or not. I mean, look at
guilty as charged.
As soon as the issue comes up, you are pronounced guilty, and I don't think that should be the case. I think that we should allow the matter to play out properly to its proper end, and just like we've seen in a lot of other situations, who knows what could happen if indeed he has fallen foul of the law. I'm sure the law will know what to do with him. But I think that we just need to have patience in all of this. It's still unraveling. There's still a lot of details coming out.
But you're saying that the Ghana Football Association should not stay mute on this?
No, they need to speak about it.
We cannot let
they can't do that. They need to speak about it.
And I'm going to ask you, but I'm just getting information that tomorrow is actually Thomas Partey's wedding in Spain.
So I have known for a while that it was on the horizon. I didn't know it was tomorrow, but that's right on cue.
I mean, I covered the Ghana Football Awards, and yes, he came with his partner, and his mother and his father were also part of his contingent at the Ghana Football Awards, where he picked up the Footballer of the Year award at the event.
So no matter how this goes, it's still a big deal to him.
It is a big deal, and because, like Ben said, even before this issue officially charged came up, he had to pay for it. Even at the time where it was just a report, an alleged report, and no official charge had been made, because at the time that issue came up and it came to a head, Thomas Partey was in line to be one of the captains for Arsenal. At the time, that's how big he was. That's how big he was. At the time that Granit Xhaka left Arsenal, Partey was one of the names that came up to be the main captain for Arsenal, because at the time, you look at Arsenal, they didn't have any top tier quality players, especially with that kind of experience. And in the end, it went to Martin Odegaard. At the time, Martin Odegaard wasn't an accomplished player like Thomas Partey, but he ended up becoming Arsenal captain.
And even though it's not publicly stated,
yes,
you can deduce
I honestly believe that it had to do with that report of alleged rape, because you can't make a guy who's been accused of rape the captain of Arsenal. And these big clubs, they are huge brands, and they take very well. They take care of their image very well, and that's the reason why your team, Manchester United, will let Mason Greenwood go, though he's been cleared legally of the charges that were leveled against him. But the fact that you had videos and the lady also come into talk about all these things, it wasn't good for PR, and so that whole image wasn't good and to associate with Man United, so they had to let him go. So these issues are quite
the trial
big.
is also going to be a big deal. And
yes, it is going to be a big deal.
Ben, in Ghana, how big is Thomas Partey in terms of, when we're talking about Ghanaian footballers? Where do you rank him? I mean, again, what are some of the projects he's undertaken in this country that would say, I mean, he's endeared himself to the nation?
I mean, he's captained the Black Stars to the World Cup, I believe, in the crucial game that took us to the last World Cup in Qatar.
Nigeria.
He had a spell where literally every time he captained the team, he would score and we would win. So there was definitely a feel-good factor about his leadership at a point in the national team. If you look at Ghanaian players across board in Europe right now, I would say he plays for the biggest team in Europe in terms of pedigree. Arsenal is as big as it gets in terms of football clouds and global clouds. And the last time we had a player like Thomas Partey, I personally believe was maybe Michael Essien.
True.
That's the last time we had a player.
That's the level you put him at.
That's definitely the level he's been on. I mean,
Essien wasn't small. Essien was our brand.
Essien was as big as it gets. Played for Real Madrid, played for Chelsea. You know, Partey played for Atletico Madrid.
A lot of Ghanaians for support Chelsea.
Exactly. Partey played for Atletico, won the Europa League with them. He joined, I believe, the season just before they won another league title, but he wasn't there. I don't know if he got
credited because he made the required number of appearances.
So he got his winners medal for that particular trophy as well. He was basically being talked about as the key piece to Arsenal making a Champions League final or not when they played PSG in the two-legged semi-final. He had a yellow card that meant that he was going to miss the first leg, and people basically said Arsenal's chances were hinged on Partey playing, and that yellow card would eventually come back to bite them, and it did. And so if you look at as far as footballing skill is concerned, he's as good as it gets. Coach typically calls him the controller. I mean, players like him, there aren't a lot of players like that in Europe right now. Players who are calm on the ball, know how to pass, know how to score from long range. positional sense and all of that. He's as thorough as it gets when it comes to the skill and art of a footballer. As far as pedigree is concerned, I think he has pushed the needle as far as it could possibly go right now. Because I'm not sure how or which big clubs. I don't think he has a lot of time left on his clock either. So Partey is huge, and so like you rightly said, I think the publicity around this will be a lot, and it probably informs me about why Arsenal have dealt with this the way they have.
I know you will be talking about this on Sports Panorama later at 7 p.m. tonight. So let me let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining us. Benjamin Ketia is head of sports here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Yao Minta, Minta, he's part of the Citi Sports desk as well as the Channel 1 Sports desk. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So the news, if you're just joining us, is that Thomas Partey, our international footballer, has been charged with 5 counts of rape. And that's happening in the United Kingdom, and we are hearing that this is happening just a day before he gets married in Spain. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Please stay with us. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, with the one for you.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind safe be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go!
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Afternoon.
Oh, afternoon.
Please, Momo.
Deposit or withdrawal?
Withdrawal.
I like how you say withdrawal. How much?
500 Ghana.
Well, I'll cash out.
Yes.
I feel ball number no mami why.
0241 789.
Nice one. Approve.
Please, the agent's name is it Mipiska Bebre to Crime Ventures?
Hey, into what body ni na?
She. My let into. I have to verify.
Always confirm the name of the person you are receiving money from before accepting a request. If you receive a request from a friend to send money to an unfamiliar number, call to confirm before taking action. Do not share your number with strangers for the purpose of receiving e-cash in exchange for physical cash, because the source could be criminal and result in legal actions against you.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I'll bring you messages, but let me do this interview. Salam Mustafa is National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party. Okay, I do not have him on the line, so let me bring some of your messages that you have been sending through. No, I thought he. Daniel Akpaliok sends a message from Sandema. That's at the bottom. Or can I have the message from the bottom? He says, Thomas Partey remains a proud son of Ghana, and in these trying moments, he deserves our support and presumption of innocence. We stand with him. in the hope that truth prevails. May justice be served and may he rise stronger. Isaac Ekus says, I pray for Thomas Partey to come out of this situation victorious. As for MPP, they should do the needful and stop complaining and shouting. Next message, please. Zilis Dwayne in London says, I wish Partey all the best. It's a tough one, and the law is Did you mean to say the law is the law? Okay. Marsha ABI staff from Abuja 30 says, MPP members crying foul over the detention of the former National Buffer Stock boss should understand this isn't witch hunting, but a pursuit of accountability. Addressing offenses transparently strengthens governance and trust. CJ in Ho says, with the issue of Thomas, I am convinced this is a planned, super incompetent, illicit propaganda against him since he decided not to extend his contract with them. Just wait and see when he goes back to extend his contract. Just wait and see if you hear the legal case again. Kennedy Onipaide says, God should swiftly intervene for Thomas Partey. The laws in Europe are different from the laws in Africa. Our footballers in diaspora must learn their lessons from this matter. Akapo Junior and Ahafomim says, members of MPP must understand the fact that most of those former appointees were part of the reasons why they lost the election. Their actions and inactions led to that humiliating defeat and must be made to suffer alone. And you can also send your message 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Let me go to Salam Mustafa now. He's National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Umar.
The former Buffer Stock CEO, Hanans, has been arrested, and I saw a social media post you put up. You were speaking to President John Dramani Mahama. For those who have not had the benefit of hearing or reading what you wrote, are you asking President Mahama to pardon him? Are you saying that something is happening with our legal system that President Mahama has to fix? Are you begging that he should not be brought to justice? What exactly is your position?
Thank you very much, Maro. Good evening to your wonderful listeners. Indeed, I made a post this morning to bring to the attention of His Excellency the President something untoward that is going on in the country relative to governance. Last week, the former CEO for Buffer Stock, Abdul Hanans, Alodiba, was picked up by Yoko to assist in investigations, which is the normal thing to do. We are also very much aware that the Constitution guarantees individual liberties and rights of 48 hours to be kept or be taken to court. As we speak, he's still in custody. Today marks day 10 of his detention. And we find it very, very disingenuous with what has gone on, because the state agency granted, bail to the tune of 15 million to Hanans, knowing very well that this is onerous. And we have said that it's not just onerous, but it is excessive and it is outrageous. And I am drawing the attention of His Excellency the President that this has become a new paradigm, especially of Yoko. When they arrest people, they use a backdoor strategy to keep people in detention, knowing very well that the bail conditions they are putting forward are very onerous to meet. So in essence, what they say to you is that we have given you bail. It is up to you to fulfill. So once you cannot fulfill the bail conditions, we keep you. Umaro, it's akin to giving the head of an animal to someone and holding on to the tail. In that case, you have not given the animal at all, because you are still obstructing, the giving of the animal. That's what we find extremely worrying, that the oppressive and reprehensive powers of the state is brought in very high-handed on people, especially political appointees of the ex-Wal Nana Danko Akufo-Addo government. And we have seen it play out many times, and it is become a pattern that we think is worrying. And that's why I thought that I should draw the attention of His Excellency the President that his neighbor, who he shares a wall with, has been dealt with in a manner that is nothing but wicked. And that if someone as close as you, like Hanans, is being treated in this manner, goes unnoticed, then I shudder to think what is coming behind and how others have been treated. And it is something that I think the media should, condemn in no uncertain terms, help us in ensuring that some of these, excesses of the state are not, condoned within our body politic. We are all, working to build a beautiful democracy. And what was bequeathed to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is not what I think we are seeing today. And this is not what Ghanaians went to vote for when they queued with the hope of a reset agenda to Ghana, not a nosedive. What is happening in this country is worrying, and I think that it's up to us, if His Excellency the President doesn't know, for us to make the President aware that members or his appointees, his government is doing things that are untoward to citizens. I mean, this is a citizen of Ghana who has been treated in such a disgraceful manner, such a disrespectful manner, such a malicious manner, such a precious manner, such a disgraceful manner that should not be, which is an affront, to the democracy we are trying to build. Nowhere in the Constitution is this sin, and the Constitution itself, guarantees us, our liberties. And even when you are arrested, you have 48 hours to keep the person. But in this case, they have gone past the 48 hours. They have kept him.
What were the okay? We are told he's in custody alongside his wife. What were the bail conditions? Okay, what were the bail conditions? Have they been met, all of them?
Yes, the wife was granted bail to the tune of 30 million cedis. That was executed, and on Monday she was released because they have children at home, 9, 5, and 3. So she was granted bail to go home. But Hanans has been kept has been kept since then in custody, even when the conditions have been met. Now, Yoko is saying that they want evaluation report of the bail conditions. And we find it intriguing that since Monday that we're running around to put, the sureties to work, you did not mention that we should add evaluation report. Why do you wait when the sureties have been justified? Then you come and demand another set, of procedure to be done. All in attempt keep him, in custody, keep him in detention as long as they wish and want. Everything that it is not right. It is not good that we treat our own citizens in this wanton manner that smacks of injustice. No matter what he has done, gather your evidence and take him to court. That we don't have an issue with as a party. But when you persecute people and not prosecute, then we are duty bound to effectively point out to you the tyranny you are perfecting on the people. And that's exactly what we are doing.
Are you going to put boots on the ground like you did for Chairman Wontumi at the EOCO offices?
Well, the lawyers have requested that they want quiet. So, be it as it may, we are bound to respect the advice of counsel. Yesterday we were there, a few supporters and family, friends came around, and the lawyers emerged and said we should advise that they go home, and Hanans himself has advised that we tone down on bringing a lot of people there. He wants to go through the process, like it is going and come out. So be it as it may, all week I have been working with the lawyers and people behind the scenes. It gets to a point that you cannot hold people anymore from going. And I'm sure if they continue to detain him, certainly there will be an overflow because this has gone beyond the ordinary. Something is certainly not adding up as far as the detention of Hanans is concerned.
Okay.
Certainly something is not up.
Thank you.
The attempt to keep him in custody goes beyond the ordinary.
Okay.
Whoever, those behind it, instigating his continuous detention are doing so out of malice and not of the interest of the state. And that's what we want to bring to the fore, that all of us condemn in no uncertain terms this kind of behavior on citizens.
Thank you for speaking to us. That's Salah Mustafa, is National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. From crime and politics, let's go to education. Ajubi.
The Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, TEWU-GH, has embarked on an indefinite strike beginning today. This follows the expiration of a 7-day ultimatum issued to relevant authorities on 24 June 2025 regarding the recognition of representatives of TEWU-TUC on the Governing Council of Traditional Universities.
Let's go on the phone lines and speak to Charles Arthur. He's chairman of TEWU-GH, KNUST local chapter. Mr. Arthur, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
So what, you are going on strike because someone has been recognized, you have not been recognized, or you want to be recognized? It's confusing. What is the bone? So if your child asked you why you didn't go to work, okay, today is a holiday, so it makes sense. But on Monday, if your child asks you, Daddy, why have you not gone to work? Your reason to the child will be what?
My reason to the child will be that I'm being cheated by Professor Blajinapo, the regulator of the public universities in Ghana.
How?
Because his office has refused to do the right thing, which is enshrined in the law.
What is the right thing that they are supposed to do that they have not?
The right thing supposed to do in the law that he is not doing is very simple. That the law states that anytime that we have two unions in a particular organization and undertaking with having the same members, a verification will have to be undertaken by Chief Labor Officer to determine which of the unions represent the majority, and a bargaining certificate will be issued to that union to lead the workers. Now, with TEWU-TUC, we are no more with them. It is a fact that when we departed, we have more members than them. This is where the frustration has started. We have even been to the Labor Department that all of them are aware. They are also frustrating the process to do the verification. Always, it's not event, it's a process. You don't know where the process is starting, etc.
When did you break away? How many people broke away out of how many?
Fine. As we speak now, KNUST, TEWU-GH is 785. TEWU-TUC is 123. You go to UDS. UDS is over 582 in favor of TEWU-GH, 14 in favor of TEWU-TUC. You come to Winneba, 400 in favor of TEWU-GH, 10 in favor of TEWU-TUC. When you go to some of the universities, the TEWU-TUC is not there. We can talk of Amusted, we can talk of Junel, CK Zadam, so many, and you have the TEWU-TUC is not there. Yet, Professor Blajinapo has issued a letter to the public university management that they should recognize TEWU-TUC as against TEWU Ghana. With the mere fact that the various establishing the universities, it is TEWU-TUC name that is innate.
So okay, and so that also goes to legal matters. But let me ask this question. So in total, how many members are in TEWU-GH, which is your union, versus TEWU-TUC?
In total, it will be difficult because in university, all the public universities, except the University of Ghana and Cape Coast UCT, where TEWU-TUC has a chunk of members, the rest is ours. You understand?
But you know, if you want to go and argue, you should have hard facts that you put on the table. You should have been able to say to Professor Jinapo that, listen, TEWU-GH, we have 5,000 people, TEWU-TUC is 2,000 people, and to the extent that we have more, you go to the law and give us a bargaining certificate and not TEWU-GH. But if you don't have the hard facts, that becomes difficult, no?
No, that's not the case, because the act establishing KNUST is different from the act establishing other universities. And the bargaining certificate that was issued to TEWU-GH, it was issued in individual universities. And in fact, their certificate is only covering University of Ghana, UCC, KNUST, UUW in Winneba, and UPSA. And all these certificates were issued, bargaining certificates were issued in a block. KNUST was different from others. You understand? So it is the same way that it has to go, and that is the way that it has to follow.
Let me ask you one last question, which will possibly come from your child on Monday. You are support staff in Ghanaian universities. That's your job. You have a challenge with another institution, being the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Why do you not go to court, but rather starve the university community, which has not really done anything wrong to you? Why are you striking?
My brother, when the law says that something must be done this way, it must be done that way.
But the law doesn't say go on strike.
I'm coming. The law is also saying that when the law clearly is there, the person who is applying the law cannot deliberately and consciously decide that I will not apply the law, and I will use arbitrary power to do whatever that I want to do, and tell you that go to court. If you also have alternative, you will not go to court. You use that alternative. That will also show that he will also be in hardship. And exactly what we are doing.
Very well.
It was actually, instead of using labor regulation 2007, LI 1833, which is clearly when we have two unions, it will separate, and the labor officer will do his work, says that he will not do that. Then you said that you go to court to do what?
Very well, to ask the court to interpret, but let's leave it there. Thank you so much for speaking to us. You can stay tuned in and listen, because I have Professor Jinapo on the line. That's Charles Arthur. He's chairman of TEWU-GH KNUST Local. Let me speak to Professor Ahmed Abdullahi Jinapo. He's Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. The man I just finished speaking to mentioned your name at least twice, and he says you are simply not adhering to what the regulation says, the LI, the legislative instrument, which says that when one union or one group of persons are more than the other group which is purporting to represent them, you give the bargaining certificate to them. You are refusing to do that, and that's why they're on strike. That's the only issue.
Founder, first of all, it's unfortunate that this whole strike is being zeroed on GTEC as a commission, refusing to grant access to a certain union, access to the university council, and it even becomes worse when I, as a person, is deemed as a person refusing them. But Charles is a very good friend. We've had countless interaction with Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana. And the latest conversation that we had with them was on the 19th of last month, when, as a matter of fact, as you are aware, they embarked on a strike, informed by the fact that they were supposed to be represented on council. And GTEC, knowing the confusion that was characterizing the whole representation on council, had to meet the two unions. As a matter of fact, let me state that Tertiary Education Workers Union, the Tertiary Education Workers Union of GH, is a breakaway organization out of the mother institution of Teachers Education Workers Union. And when we met them, we made them understand that for us as a commission, we do not appoint people on council. That is not our mandate. Appointment on council is done by His Excellency the President in consultation with the Council of State. But our mandate has to do with ensuring that there's peace on campuses. So when there was nomination on council at UDS, which I happened to be there with the Honorable Minister of Education, during the swearing in, it came to our attention that the person who was being represented on UDS council was being attacked by Teachers Education Workers Union. So that was where we came in. But the fact of the matter is, and I need to be straightforward with my brothers and sisters within TEWU-GH, the law states, as they are aware, historically, that TEWU-TUC has always been represented on council. There's no doubt about it. Notwithstanding the numbers that they claim they have, which I can say on authority, based on data that GTEC requested from the 16 traditional universities, points to the fact that when it comes to KNUST and UDS,
which is even being contested by TUC. GH may have the numbers, but the law informed by the act says that it's TEWU-GH, which is supposed to be represented on council. At the end of the day, let's face it, TEWU-GH, as we speak, it's in embarrassed state, being that they are even working towards legal recognition. At the last part of your interview, I didn't get it right, but I tended to believe that you asked him whether they have a bargaining certificate, which they do not. Just recently, they wrote through GTEC to the Labour Commissioner to ask for recognition in terms of bargaining certificate. So if you do not have it, then how do you make a case that you need to be represented? And I've told them countless times that notwithstanding the legitimacy of their position when it comes to democratic representation, the law states that whoever informed by the act is supposed to be represented. That is the body that is supposed to be represented. So if they decide to go on strike, for us as a commission, even though we regulate the tertiary educational space, we also work in tandem with certain bodies such as the National Labour Commission, who is supposed to, at best, see to it that if you want to go on strike, that strike must be legal. So we've written to the National Labour Commission. We are waiting for them to invite TEWU-GH and GTEC and all the stakeholders involved in this whole enterprise for them to look at the issues and come up with a ruling. But my point is, and I want to reiterate this on your platform, that let's not take the law into our hands. Yes, everybody or anybody has the right to go on strike. And if you go on strike, that strike must be within the framework of the law. If the National Labour Commission determines that your strike is legal and they mandate GTEC to put you on council, we are not the people who are going to put you on council. We write to the appointing authority for you to be put on council, but I must caution that they should not in any way attempt to disrupt council activities informed by they going to more or less, as we've been informed, to pull off the members of TEWU-GH on council. As it stands now, the law states that TEWU-GH are those who are supposed to be on council. And I've always advised them, and Charles will attest to that, that I said, work with your mother institution. At the end of the day, council representation is based on constituency. If you have the numbers and you think your grievances or your position is going to be represented by your members, work with them.
Okay.
And whoever is being represented, even under the ambit of TEWU-GH, can emanate from TEWU-GH.
Very well.
We want to make sure that there's peace on campus. That's what I want to say on this now.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Prof. Before you go, because I've referred to you as Prof, and lately GTEC has been on the Prof and PhD titles. Please, Professor Ahmed Abdullahi Jinapo, Director General of GTEC, where did you get your professorship and PhD from?
Sanda, I think this is an issue that has been in the public domain for some time now. Our position, informed by Act 1023, is to regulate and sanitize the tertiary educational space. Specifically, we have the mandate to set the standards when it comes to qualifications and equivalences. Let me state, for the avoidance of doubt, that honorary doctorate, even though is one that more or less points to your contribution to society or whatever it is not an academic title. And I must say that in recent times, a lot of people, through whatever means, have been attaining those positions, and it's even becoming more worrying when it comes to professorship. There are a lot of people who claim to be professors when in actual fact they are not. So we are not going to renege on making sure that we sanitize that space. And I want to use this platform to more or less commend Citi FM and the Citi Enterprise for the support that you've been giving us in terms of trying to make sure that this whole canker is being patched.
So you're not targeting political party members,
it's
NDC members.
It's not about politics. If you look at the individuals that have come in the public domain, they cut across the aisle. But let me state that the numbers that or the names that you've heard is just a microcosm of the bigger people who happen to be in this whole situation. There are a number of people that we've had conversations with. We've explained to them the consequences of using those unearned titles, and they've withdrawn. They've withdrawn those titles. I don't want to mention names, but a number of them, people in high positions. And when we explain to them that, look, these are unearned positions and you cannot use them, it's agreed. It's just a few recalcitrant ones who more or less have been adamant and they've been fighting the system. And I can tell you on authority, GTEC by Act 1023 has that mandate to make sure we sanitize that space. And fortunately for us, the stakeholders in that sphere, including Citi FM, have been very supportive. And I hope that moving forward, this whole canker is going to be resolved.
Prof, but you know that I won't let you go without answering where you got your professorship and PhD from. I asked it at the beginning, you haven't answered, so I want you to answer before
Sandra, let's face it. In certain jurisdictions, in as much as I've left the academic sphere, in one who teaches and conducts research at University of Education, Winneba, where I'm coming from, where I got my professorship, no matter how stupid I am, I went through the rigors and the requirements of attaining that rank. And I need to emphasize, professorship is a rank. It is not a certification. In some jurisdictions, if you leave that sphere and you happen to be in an administrative position, you need not use it. But here is the case that we have people who, quote and unquote, are honored as professors, and they use that title. It is not right, because we are not talking of professorship being certification. I might use the analogy of the police. You start as a constable and you graduate as a commissioner. So if you have not been promoted to the rank of a commissioner, how do you call yourself a commissioner? And in any case, in this country, you find people call themselves lawyers. You have to be a lawyer before you are given the title a lawyer. In Ghana, anybody, through whatever means, want to be called a doctor, no matter how they got it or whatever it is. And if we don't, collectively as a society, work towards more or less stopping this whole behavior, I think it will get to a time, Sanda. Okay. I will not be calling you Sanda. I will be calling you Dr. Sanda. And at a point in time, I will even be calling Professor Emeritus Sanda.
No, don't do that. It's too much for me.
No, you people are going towards that. So we need to work. Okay. We are not targeting any group of people.
No problem. If I'm done with that one, I just wanted you to tell me yours, then we can end the conversation. So
no, I got mine from University of Education, Winneba. I started as a lecturer. In fact, I came to Winneba in 2010. In 2009, I got my PhD from West Virginia University. I came to Winneba as a lecturer. I rose through the ranks. I became a senior lecturer in 2014. 2017, I became an associate professor. And as a Citi, I'm an associate professor. I'm not a full professor.
Very well.
And I work towards it. I'm not going to go anywhere and say that I'm a professor in terms of being a full professor. But if you haven't gone through that rank, you cannot ascribe to yourself that title. So that is the point that we are trying to make.
So if someone gives me an honorary doctorate, I shouldn't call myself Dr. Sanda. That is what the law is.
Okay. The law is that if you are given an honorary doctorate, it's called honorary causa. Honorary causa. An honorary causa ends at the place where you were given that honorary title.
I can't walk around calling myself doctor at all.
You cannot. And you can take a cue from His Excellency the President of the Republic. When he was given an honorary doctorate, he specifically and emphatically said, "Don't call me Dr. John Mahama."
Very well.
Why did he say that? Because he knows the consequences of more or less being referred as such. And even what is worse, Sandra, and I need to state this, in most instances, you find people on their CV, academic achievement, Dr. Sanda Imoro, University of Ghana. When you have not attained that, that is to use a better way, it's criminal.
Now it's fraudulent misrepresentation.
It's criminal. It's perjury.
Thank you.
And let me state, Sanda, finally, we started by saying that we caution people not to use those titles, and we're going to name and shame. The final leg is that we are going to institute criminal prosecution against people who continue to use those titles even though they haven't earned them.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Okay.
That's Professor Ahmed Abdullah Jinapo. He's Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Talking about education, Ejubi, we have a story on something big in the education sector.
Well, President John Dramani Mahama has officially launched the no-fee stress policy in fulfillment of a campaign promise made in 2024. Currently, 150,000 students have so far accessed the platform and 34,500 have been validated and are awaiting payment. And put off that number, 15,000 students have also received alerts yesterday for payment. Speaking at the launch, President John Dramani Mahama indicated that the policy is a path to a more just society where dreams are not deferred.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We're bringing you the latest in the world of business next. And then after that, we have Point Blank. My guest tonight on Point Blank is Pius Enam Hajide. He's a former deputy minister. He was NPP parliamentary candidate for the Isojaman constituency in the last election. But for purpose of tonight's conversation, he's on Team Brian Echampong. We'll talk to him about that and more. Please stay with us.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
New Kivo Hot Pepper Powder. Loco, shoot! This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejibi Wiafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. The Ghana Cocoa Board is stepping up efforts to combat the growing threat of cocoa smuggling with a planned security-focused visit to the Volta region. Board Chairman Dr. Samuel Fosuampofu revealed the move during a familiarization tour of Cocoa Board facilities in Tema, where he raised alarm over the impact of smuggling on the integrity and long-term viability of the cocoa sector.
We will be going to the Volta region with our special service people are working. I've had some engagement with the Volta regional minister and for that matter the regional security committee. We'll be engaging the Ghana police, we'll be engaging the marine police, and we'll be working closely with Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, security agencies, and make sure that there's a collaborative network with the intelligence community, the national security, to stem the tide of the smuggling, which is really a bane as far as productivity and Ghana's cocoa output is concerned.
Dr. Samuel Fosuampofu is the chairman of the Ghana Cocoa Board. Global beverage giant Diageo Holdings has officially exited Guinness Ghana Breweries PLC following the sale of its entire 80.4% stake to the Castle Group in a major shake-up within Ghana's brewing industry. The transaction, completed on July 3, 2025, involved the sale of 247 million ordinary shares through a free-of-payment deal executed locally in one of Africa's largest beverage producers. With this move, Diageo has relinquished all shareholding and voting rights in Guinness Ghana, ending its decades-long presence as one of West Africa's beverage brands. Now, the newly reconstituted Financial Stability Advisory Council has held its maiden meeting for a roadmap to safeguard the country's financial system amid ongoing economic recovery efforts. But what has the council been considering in this first engagement? There's more in the following report.
The June 9 meeting, also the 22nd session since the establishment of the Council in 2018, comes on the back of an executive instrument issued under Article 58 for the reconstitution of the Council. It is chaired by Dr. Johnson Esiama, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, and includes key figures across the financial regulatory landscape, from the Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyakuampim to heads of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the National Insurance Commission, the Pensions Authority, and Deposit Protection Cooperation. Among the top priorities discussed were progress on rebuilding capital buffers, tackling legacy issues in the sector, and improving oversight and regulatory coordination. The governor stressed that a resilient, inclusive, and innovative financial system remains crucial to driving long-term economic growth. Other than that, regulatory institutions must work together to strengthen crisis response and boost market confidence. The Council plays a crucial role in identifying systematic risk and improving financial sector governance. It is supported by a technical committee and 3 working groups that help implement its core mandates.
Nashika Caesar with that business desk report. Moving on, the Ghana Union of Traders Association (GTEC) is asking the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) to push for operational efficiency at the Electricity Company of Ghana (ECG) rather than relying on routine electricity tariff hikes. This comes after PURC announced a 2.45% upward adjustment in electricity tariffs effective this month. The traders argue that the frequent increases are placing an unnecessary burden on businesses and households. Therefore, more must be done to improve internal financial controls at ECG and ensure better service delivery. Head of Business and Economic Bureau at GTEC, Charles Apiakosi, tells Citi Business News transparent regulation and cost control will protect consumers while maintaining financial sustainability in the utility sector.
We look at how you can reduce procurement breaches. These are some of the things that the internal controls that they need to be interested in to ensure that there's value for investment and value for money so far as paying for utility tariffs are concerned. It's not like you always have to find the most convenient and easiest way of covering up your inefficiencies and thereby increasing tariffs for consumers to pay for that. That, I think, era is passing gone. And I am disappointed that they want to go in this trajectory, that anytime they want to do tariff review, it must supposed to be upward adjustment. And tell us that the last time they increased their tariffs, these were the revenues we were able to raise, and these were the debt we were supposed to pay, and these are outstanding debts. And therefore, let's engage consumers, let's engage businesses. Bring your input. How do we cover our debts?
That was Charles Apiakosi, head of GTEC's Business and Economic Bureau. The country's gold reserves are climbing sharply, a development that continues to strengthen Ghana's financial buffers. The reserves have gone up by 0.83 tons between May and June 2025, bringing total holdings at the Bank of Ghana to 32.99 tons as of June 30.
According to new data from the Bank of Ghana, gold holdings reached 32.99 tons in June 2025 and nearly quadrupling the 8.78 tons recorded in the same period last year. The surge signals the Bank of Ghana's strategy to build gold reserves as a hedge against external shocks and reduce dependence on traditional foreign currencies like the US dollar. As Africa's top gold producer, Ghana has also ramped up the formalization of its small-scale mining industry to ensure more locally mined gold is channeled into national reserves rather than exported. This push aligns with a broader global trend where central banks are increasingly turning to gold to guard against currency volatility and mounting geopolitical uncertainty. The move could be seen as a strategic bet on long-term economic stability, with implications for the foreign exchange management, inflation control, and investor confidence.
That was a news desk report by Sheba Araba-Benin. Finally, the Ministry of Works and Housing and Water Resources has tasked the newly inaugurated Governing Board of Architectural and Engineering Services Limited, AESL, to explore a possible merger between AESL and the Public Works Department, PWD. According to the Sector Minister, Kenneth Gilbert-J, such a merger will streamline public sector consultancy services for better efficiency and national impact. Addressing members of the new governing board, Mr. Gilbert-J advised the board to play a key role in shaping corporate policy and strengthening the financial resilience of AESL.
As a board, your role is strategic. You are charged with defining the organization's long-term vision, shaping its corporate policy, and guiding it towards innovation, sustainability, and financial resilience. In this regard, I wish to bring your attention to an important proposal currently under discussion: the possible realignment of merger of AESL with the Public Works Department. This idea seeks to streamline public sector consultancy functions for greater efficiency and national impact. I therefore encourage you to examine this proposal carefully, provide a thorough assessment, weighing both the potential benefits and challenges, and advise the ministry accordingly. Your insights will be vital in determining the best path forward.
You heard the Minister of Works, Housing and Water Resources, Kenneth Gilbert-J. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Oh, jump on now. Go, go. Ugomi, and what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Charlie, Chairman is still not here. What at all could be the issue? Calm down. I'm sure you'll be here soon. Oh, guys. Sorry I'm late. Kotibab me for road. Sake of my insurance expire. Some long issue, Charlie.
Chairman Pan. Hey, you make Kotibab sake of you forget to renew your car insurance when you can get your car insurance sticker instantly on Haptel. And best of all, you can set a reminder to renew. Simple matter. Just install the app, enter your car number, and oh la la! Your instant insurance sticker is there.
Oh really? Make I do am now before I forget. But Edemu, Charlie, see. Edemu, insurance sticker need Edemu one time. I can even renew it every month. Wow, Charlie. As for this one today, as usual, the sitting is on me.
Visit haptel.com/app to download your Haptel app and set a reminder to renew your car insurance today. Haptel is everything you.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Omar Rusanda. But tonight on Point Blank, the New Patriotic Party is looking for a flag bearer. Lots of names are being mentioned. There are various campaign teams. The party is set to elect a flag bearer January next year. That's if the July Congress or conference of the party agrees to the proposal. Now we have Team Brian Achampong, former Minister for Agri, Member of Parliament. One of his team members is my guest tonight on Point Blank. He himself wanted to be a Member of Parliament for the people of Esojaman in the last election. He was not successful, but he served as Deputy Minister for Sports and was also head of the National Youth Authority in the Akufo-Addo administration. So he is actually spokesperson of this particular Brian Achampong campaign team. Honorable Pius Enam Hajide, you're welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you very much, my brother.
How are you doing?
Son, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I haven't seen you since you lost elections in 2024. Have you been in hibernation?
Yeah, no. I mean, we have been taking stock, reviewing our performances, and also reconnecting with the base to understand what went wrong. And you are right. We are not at a good place right now as a party. Not just as a party, but even as a country. You know, Sanda, even before you start asking me that between all the other political parties, the people of Ghana, if we went on the ground right now and you asked the ordinary Ghanaian, they will confirm to you that they are sad that the NPP is out of power, because it is only the NPP that delivers the goods when they are in power.
Really?
Anything that has benefited and continues to benefit the good people of Ghana generally, across political divide, across gender, across economic background, religious, ethnic, wherever. Look, you can take the implementation of the FCUP, for instance, that allowed for the non-payment of fees at the primary level of education. School feeding.
FCUB, which was put in the 1992 constitution by the
implementation
NDC.
was implemented by the John Ajekum Kufuor administration.
They put it in the law for you to implement.
Of course, there are many things in the law that are not being implemented even now.
Constitution that
but,
you haven't come to
the constitution was given by the people of Ghana at a national consultative forum.
The constitution is a letter and spirit of the nation. You boycotted it.
But again,
everything good came from you.
But again, I'm saying that the records are there. We can't contest it. School feeding. Okay, Metro Mass, okay, and I'm talking about John Ajekum Kufuor's MPP. If you track fast forward and you come to the Akufo-Addo administration, free SHS, you have seen the infrastructure really and truly unparalleled, unprecedented. The work happening on the motorway, that is the MPP's legacy. You go to Tema, riding into Atimpoku, Akosombo, that massive work happening there, that is the legacy of the NPP. And that's why it is difficult for the NDC people to answer to the question, what social interventions? And when we say social interventions, we are talking about interventions that benefit the entirety of the Ghanaian people. Okay? Of course, the NPP is not a party of angels. There definitely will be one or two mistakes. But you see, if you speak to the average Ghanaian, he will tell you, or she will tell you, that when the NPP is in power and manage the affairs of state, there is a more equitable distribution of the national wealth, and that is why.
Then the Ghanaian must have been asleep on December 7th. For which reason he decided to remove this?
Well, but that's why we are at where we are. We are looking for we are rebuilding our party and looking for a candidate that can bring back the New Patriotic Party to power.
So it was the candidate that lost you the election, not the party that lost the election.
The parties lose elections, candidates lose elections. You just referenced that I lost Esojaman. It's a fact. I lost.
So in 2024, who lost the election? Was it NPP or Dr. Bawumia?
Which election are you talking about?
The general elections of the NPP.
The NPP lost. The presidential candidate lost. Dr. Bawumia lost.
So are you saying that he is the reason you lost the election?
Sanda, I'm saying that for any serious... let me tell you. But you didn't let me land on that one. I'm saying that that is why there is a lot of enthusiasm. People are asking that the MPP should do the right thing, including electing the most winnable candidate, so that we can come back to power quickly, so that we can continue to do what we do. But to answer to your question, to win an elections, there are a number of things that you have to watch. Some call it the 3 or 4 M's of winning an elections. The machinery, that's the vehicle that delivers the power. So the party is the machinery. We have to rebuild the party. We have to reposition the party, no doubt. Then there is the message. We have to find a message for 2028. And we have to also be concerned about the messenger. Because the good thing about the message and the messenger is that one reinforces the other. So as we speak, we must be sure what message we are going to put up for 2028. And which is the most credible messenger to carry that message. Because there are things that you can say, but it is believable or not, depending on who is saying it. And so there are many things that we have to work on. The party, we have to fix our messaging, and we have to also look at what criteria of candidate, of messenger are we looking at. And we believe that the candidate that will deliver the goods for the MPP in 2028 is Honorable Dr. Brian Acheampong, because we understand the reasons why we did not perform too well in 2024. We understand it.
Are you not missing the whole point? Are you not being hypocritical when you are concerned with the driver rather than the vehicle, where the vehicle is damaged because of behavior and activities of members of the vehicle, such as Pius Enamajide, who has thrown the government into scandals at least once or twice, such as the man you are representing, Brian Acheampong, whose name popped up during the Ayawaso West by-election and the violence that characterized him. These are some of the things that made your party look so bad that Ghanaians rejected you with 2 million votes. And so the entirety of the party was damaged, and not necessarily the driver. The driver just happened to be driving a rickety car, and that's why he was stopped by the police.
Well, you see, you are very wrong in your assertion, and because I want to move the conversation forward, I would not want to dwell on the mischaracterization about a certain so-called scandal. There has not been a scandal. They are propagandist allegations, baseless ones as such.
And investigated by CID.
Yes, and a clean bill of health was offered. So if people continue to persist in probably their ignorance or their propaganda, that's their business. But that cannot be, because the facts speak for themselves. You understand? So let's move away from that one and then dwell on the reality of our times. And I'm saying that I mentioned to you that there are a number of considerations that we have to give. I said that we have to look at rebuilding and repositioning of our party. We have to look at our messaging, but we also have to have conversations about the messenger, because it's important. One reinforces the other. A messenger reinforces the message, and the message reinforces the messenger. And so when you talk about even these so-called scandals, this what I know for a fact to be populist propaganda from desperate politicians at the time who lied their way to power, those things remained, but we still won the 2020 elections. By 2020, many of these things that you had talked about had happened.
But we won. Drastic reduction in your votes from 1 million to 500,000.
But we won.
And you lost parliament.
But I'm saying that we won. Okay? So it is simplistic to want to just isolate those aspects and to deal with them.
So have you found the message already before you're looking for the messenger, or you are going to find the two together?
That's why I'm saying that we in the Brian Acheampong team, what we did, and you know, is that Brian Acheampong commissioned a committee to go on the ground. It came out of the call of the people, party people coming to him, knowing his track record, his sacrifices, his vision, having heard and seen what he can do on the ground practically, and not empty noise over our heads and so on. They came to ask him. You know, the voice of the people is the voice of God. But then he still thought that it was important to find alignment between his own vision and that of the people of Ghana and the aspirations of the MPP people. So we set a serious effort in motion to find out the reasons. One of the key things, find out the reasons underlying our poor performance in the 2024 elections, and to then make recommendations about the way forward. One of the critical things that came up was the need for a united New Patriotic Party. And we found out that the party is becoming polarized along certain lines. You heard when former Vice President himself on the thank you tour, and many of us can confirm some of the things that he said about the perception that the conduct and utterances of a certain section of the party affected our party's performance. Okay, so we are in a situation where a part of the party believes that another part of the party was responsible for their defeat, and so you are witnesses to the back and forth and the tension that is in this party. How can you win an election, if I may? We have to have a united party. We have to have a candidate who is able to bring everybody on board. He's able to work with His Excellency the former Vice President, who, by the way, is a fantastic person. He has to work with Honorable Kennedy Ejapong, another fantastic stalwart of our party. Work with Honorable Dr. Educhum, work with Kwabena Ejapong, all of those people.
What's Brian Champong's
Dr. Brian Champong stands in the middle and has the capacity. Have you heard anybody say have any problems with Dr. Brian Champong? No.
What's his track record?
So his track record is in business and in politics is a matter of public. Everybody knows. 16-year, 4-term member of parliament.
The issue of business.
If I may, you asked about.
I know, but because I just want to bring that in, you can respond to it. The issue of business and the image of the party, and I'm going back to the image of your party again and all the scandals. The sale of.
I'm saying that there are no scandals.
No,
those things you are referring to as scandals.
Depends on how
but you just put something to me. That's a propagandist. It's a propagandist politics of the NDC. You are repeating it as. So you probably should correct yourself.
The intended sale of hotels belonging to the state to a hotel owned by Brian Champong was one of the big scandals of
how do you call them? I'm disappointed.
For organized labor to go on a nationwide campaign, you don't think that's a scandal?
Absolutely wrong.
Organized labor.
You are absolutely wrong. I have spoken to members of organized labor.
You were not here?
I was here. So I'm saying that I spoke to many members of the organized labor. And upon hindsight, many of them admit that. And it is true when you will admit that Brian Champong did nothing wrong. Let me address that matter of those hotels. SNIT saw that some of their investments were struggling, they were underperforming. SNIT, taking care of my father, your father, all the grown people in our country.
My father is on SNIT.
Well, okay. Well, many, they are struggling. Their investments are struggling. So they put out their intention to divest their shares in some of these investments and invited bids. So a man who owns the biggest hotel in Africa, who happens to be a Ghanaian, who happens to be in the NPP, who also happens to be a member of the government, but he's a businessman. He owns the biggest hotel.
You know what?
Let me finish.
You know what's called conflict of interest?
There was none, and you can establish it to me. I'm taking time now to establish it to you, and this is important to me. So if you give me a minute, so it was SNIT who announced their intention to divest their shares. They invited for bids. So the hotel that has a board that is looking to expand also puts in their bid, and the bid happens to be the best, the most responsive, the one that will better serve the interest of SNIT, better serve the interest of the old people, the pensioners of our country. You're saying that just because the person is MPP or just because the person is politically exposed, that should disqualify him, so we should go and bring American or Indian or Lebanese. We cannot grow our own businesses where we do not have to necessarily expatriate profits, that the monies can stay within our economy and help our people. So what wrong did Mr. Brian Champong do? Look, Brian Champong showed that he is a man who listens and whose heart is with Ghana. So even though his board, his business, saw an opportunity and they believed in their capacity to take these struggling businesses and to make them become like Rock City, when people started talking, what did he do? He called the meeting and said, no, I know that you took a business decision, but everybody also knows that I am associated with Rock City. So please, stay off it. Stop it. How can that become a scandal? Mr. Brian Achampong should be commended and recommended for wanting, as a Ghanaian, to play his part in resolving the challenges of struggling state enterprises. Okay. So Sanda, let's be honest. Do you not believe that Mr. Dr. Brian Achampong, Honorable, 16 years member of Parliament, astute businessman, you do not think that he should be commended, that he can compete with international brands?
Okay. You know what I think?
Offer better deals to Ghana. You wanted Citi to give the hotels to those people whose bids, whose proposals were not going to be beneficial to Ghana.
You're asking me what I think. Let me tell you what I think. What I think is that before a person wins a national election, they must have a constituency backing them.
Correct.
What's Brian Achampong's constituency?
Oh, the whole of Ghana is Brian Achampong's constituency.
That's
Look,
big. That's
no, I'm telling you, and I'll drill it down.
Quickly.
Brian Achampong cuts across many regions, even in terms of where he comes from, Eastern, Ashanti. And those are our strongest holds.
Do you think
so
do
normally
you think your party's flag bearer must come from those two regions for you to
you are talking about his constituency.
I know, I'm just asking you based on that.
But you see, look, if the NPP, we can go back to our 2016 performance in percentage terms in 3 regions: Ashanti region, Eastern region, and Greater Accra, and we are able to maintain and hold our position in the rest of the country, we have won the elections.
Yes, we know
so
that.
It is important that the NPP has an eye on these 3 regions: Ashanti region, number 1; Eastern region, number 2; Greater Accra region.
What does having an eye mean? Does it mean?
Well, it means that the candidate must connect easily.
Connect easily or come from?
Those are my words. I'm saying that the candidate has to connect easily.
Explain.
And if you ask me, there are many ways that one can connect easily to a constituency.
By speaking.
If you speak their language, if you come from there, if you marry from there, there are many. When I talk to a politician who is practicing on the ground, they will relate. But you are asking me to drill down on radio and asking me to talk about all of my strategy. But the fact of the matter is that Sanda,
I know politicians.
If you have,
I understand.
I'm sure you are not practicing.
Man by nature is a political animal.
Okay, so then understand me when I say that. When I say that the NPP must continue to have its eyes on these 3 regions, and at the same time, we must work hard to be able to hold our own in the rest of the country.
Does it mean that
if our performance continues to dip in these 3 regions, then our work becomes relatively harder.
Does it also mean then that you must not have a flag bearer who comes out of these 3 regions because the connection would not be there?
Well, those are not my words. I don't believe so.
It's a question.
I will not. I'm saying that. Look, a strategic candidate, no matter where he comes from, can find a way to connect.
Very well.
Last question. It is connection in all of its forms and shapes.
Very well.
However you are able to connect, you must connect.
My last question.
But the last election results does not suggest that we connected strongly, because our performance with those regions, our performance in those regions dipped quite a bit.
Even though you had a running mate from one of your biggest regions.
And so, well, that's another matter. You can interrogate whether when people go to the polls to vote, which is it that they focus on, the flag bearer or the vice presidential candidate.
What do you think?
So we can look at it. I'm not prepared to. I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay.
And so, but the fact of the matter is that you have not disputed in it, and nobody can dispute any of the things that I have said.
Do you think religion matters in our elections? The religious background of a person on the ticket.
It's always been about connections. I've said that a candidate that is able to connect to several demographics, winning an elections becomes easier.
Okay.
So if you look at religion as a demographic, okay, I'll tell you a story of when I was in university, and we were contesting elections. The churches that you even go to, I mean, even though it was Christian or even the church, the denomination, it comes to play. If you're Pentefield, in my school, that was they had a large following. And so if you had a candidate coming from the Pentecost faith, then you have to go back and re-strategize. And so many people would want to associate. So people who were not even Pentecostals or Pentecost churchgoers from home, when they nest the ambition, then you find that every Sunday they want to go to. But I believe also that it's just a question of connection. Okay.
Finally, before you go, you are the spokesperson of the Brian campaign. We've heard rumors that the former president Nana Akufo-Addo is supporting Brian Achampong. Is that true?
Well, this is the second time I'm going to have to answer this question within a space of about 2 days. I'm close to Brian. I speak to him regularly, but I have not been advised as such. I do not know. However, I think that any serious candidate seeking to lead the New Patriotic Party should be hoping and praying for the endorsement or support of those prominent stalwarts of the party like John Ajekum Kufuor and His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. After all, I mean, no elections can be run in this country without standing on the records of John Ajekum Kufuor and Akufo-Addo. And I would pray and hope that these two fine stalwarts of our party throw their weight behind Dr. Brian Achampong. If Nana Akufo-Addo doesn't support you, if John Ajekum Kufuor doesn't support you, how are you going to win the elections?
So if they don't support you, you cannot win elections?
Not even primary. So if they don't support you, it's going to be difficult for you to win the general elections. I mean, look at what work they have done for this country.
Very well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Pius Enam Hajide, my very good friend who has been away since he was defeated at the polls. He went. Welcome back. Well, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I miss you.
Umaru Sanda.
Yeah.
Hey. Mischief maker number one.
Morning for me. Good night.
It's been a pleasure, my brother.
It's nice meeting you. That's Pius Enam Hajide, former Deputy Minister of Sports, former head of the NYA, but currently he's a spokesperson of Dr. Brian Achampong's campaign into the flag bearership contest of the New Patriotic Party. He was my guest on Point Blank. I am Umaru Sandamado. I did this Eyewitness News Show tonight. The holiday edition with Ejubi Wiafiakin. Production by Manuel Ayama from Bolgatanga. Is it Bolgatanga or Tongo? Bolgatanga. Manuel Ayama, my producer for today. Technical support from Desmond Nyako. New media support from Emmanuel Usu and the team. Up next is Sports Panorama. Coach Nimley has a purse containing Michingoro and other things.